right, this is lesson 10 from module 4. We're going to talk about some applications of volume. So for each figure, let's list two real-world items that represent the figure. So a cylinder. What can we think of when we see a cylinder? We think of a can, be like a soup can or a pop can. I know science, they have those science beakers. They look like those cylinders. A cone could be an ice cream cone. Could have a traffic cone that looks like that. For a sphere, you could have a basketball, or of course I should write volleyball. Could have a globe from a social studies class. Okay, so all different types of real world items that represent these figures. Now in class, we're going to be doing a little activity with the following problems, but if you're at home watching this, you can just go through these problems on your own, check the answers as you go just to make sure you're doing them correctly. Number 1, Tanya uses cube-shaped beads to make jewelry. Each bead has a circular hole through the middle. Find the volume of each bead. So obviously we have to remove that circular hole because that's not there. So we have to find the volume of the big cube and subtract out the cylinder. So let's do that. Let's start with the rectangular prism. So remember the formula is going to be big B times H. And since it's a rectangle, big B stands for length times width. So the length and the width of the base are 12. The height is also 12 because it's a cube. So I'm going to find my calculator first. Okay, so we're going to do 12 times 12 times 12, which gives me 1,728, and that's millimeters cubed. Now we still have to find the volume of the cylinder, so let's do that next. So volume is equal to big B times H. This time a cylinder has a base of pi r squared. So pi, the radius of this, now this is the diameter, which means the radius is 1. The height is still 12. So 1 squared is 1. So this gives us 12 pi. Now I can enter that into the calculator. 12 pi is 37.6991184, and that's millimeters cubed. Now you don't want to subtract yet because your last step, or I'm sorry, round. You don't want to round yet because our last step would be to round. Now we're going to take away the cylinder from the rectangular prism. So if I do that, I'm going to get 1728 minus 37.699911184. Now, to do that in the calculator, you already have that big long answer. So all we're going to do is type in 1728 minus. To pull that answer back up, you can hit second with the negative sign. That's going to say you're subtracting the answer that you just had. When you hit enter, you get 1690300,888. So now I want to round to the nearest tenth, which would be 1,690.3, and that's millimeters cubed. All right, number 2. A metal paperweight is in the shape of a cylinder. The paperweight has a height of 1.5 inches and a diameter of 2 inches. How much does the paperweight weigh if 1 cubic inch weighs 1.8 pounds? So we have to find out what the volume is before we find the weight. So step 1, we're going to find the volume. So we need to know our height and we need to know our radius. Well, our height would be 1.5 inches. The diameter is 2 inches, which means the radius would be 1 inch. So now we can do big B times H. It's a cylinder. So our big B is pi r squared. So pi times 1 squared times 1.5. Exponents first. 1 squared is 1. So we get 1.5 times pi as our answer, which is 47.1238898. So that's the volume of the paperweight. So now we need to find the weight of the paperweight. So to do that, we're going to take our answer, and I put that decimal in the wrong spot, sorry. Shouldn't be 47, it should be 4.7. Okay, so I'm going to take that weight, 4.712388898, and I'm going to multiply it by 1.8 because every cubic inch weighs 1.8. So I'm just going to hit times 1.8, which is 8.482300165. Now round to the nearest tenth, and that would be 8.5, and we're talking ounces. All right, number 3. Number 3 says an above ground swimming pool in the shape of a cylinder has a diameter of 18 feet, height of 4.5 feet. If the pool is filled with water up to 6 inches from the top of the pool, what is the volume of the water in the pool? All right, so to do this, we need to know our radius and we need to know our height. Now they tell us the diameter, so radius is half of that. And the height is 4.5 feet, but the water is only filled 6 inches from the top. 6 inches is half a foot. So we actually are only filling it 4 feet. So we're going to do volume equals big B times H. It's a cylinder, so our big B is pi r squared. So pi times 9 squared times 4. Let's do exponents first. So 9 squared is 81. So we're going to do 81 pi. Let's try to multiply 81 times 4 first. So 81 times 4 is 324 times pi. We get 1017.87602. It does say to round to the nearest whole number, so the volume is going to be approximately 1,118. That tells the 7 to go up, which would be feet cubed. All right, number 4. A cylinder and a cone have the same volume. The cylinder has a radius of 2 inches, height of 3 inches. The cone has a radius of 3 inches. What is the height of the cone? All right, well, if the cone and the cylinder have the same volume, that means their formulas are going to be the same. Now, the cylinder has a formula of big B times H, which is really pi r squared H. And the cone is going to be V equals 1/3 big B times H, which is 1/3 pi r squared H. So if they have the same cylinder, that means, same volume, that means that pi r squared H is equal to 1/3 pi r squared H. So let's keep reading. It says the radius is 2 for the cylinder. The height is 3. The cone, the radius is 3. So let's substitute these in. So pi times the radius of the cylinder is 2. The height is 3. On the cone side, we have a radius of 3, and the height is unknown. So let's do some math. 2 squared is 4. On this side, we have 3 squared, not cubed, 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. You can use X or H. It really doesn't matter to me. All right, so let's simplify this. This would be 12 pi. On the other side, 1/3 times 9 is 3 pi. Now, I'm going to divide both sides by 3 pi because I want to get x by itself. And the only way to do that is get rid of the 3 in the pi. The 3's cancel out and the pi's cancel out. On this side, 12 divided by 3 is 4. The pi's cancel out. So you're left with 4, which is your height, and that's labeled in inches. All right, that's it for this lesson. Go ahead and try the problem set at home. Good luck.